What's up, Facebook family and friends? I'm gonna jump on here for a minute and talk to you guys about death. Now, when I say death, first thing that may come to mind is physical death. That's what that's what our minds are programmed to think immediately when we hear the word death. But there's different forms of deaths. There's different variations. There's different types of deaths. So, and I can even share with you if you want to experience what death is going to be like. I can share a practice that I do that I can share with you, and you can, if you're brave enough or if you just want to do it, it won't hurt you, but it'll clear some things up for you. So first, when we think about death, when we look at a person who's deceased, you can look in a person's eyes and you can see the light missing. There's something missing, like the body can still be there, but there's something missing. That's why the body always looks different after a person's no longer in the body compared to when they're supposedly, alive or animating the body. And I used to go to funerals when I was a child. Whenever I would go to a funeral, I would look at these people that were my family, that I remember them looking one way. I remember them being a certain way. And then when I would lay my eyes upon the dead in the casket, I would feel this emptiness and a sense of fear and confusion, and sadness, and, a good portion of my life I spent being afraid of death. Like I'm sure most people are. I'm not afraid of death anymore. And that's mainly due to my understanding of it and my experience and my awareness of what it may be. Now, before you existed, before you had this identity, this whoever you are, I'm Gary, right? This is my physical identity, that this name was given to me. I didn't pick and choose my ethnicity, my skin color. I didn't pick and choose how I would look. All I know is that I was here one day and I just was aware. I don't remember being born. I don't remember anything from ages 1 to 3. I think the furthest memory back that I have is being like 5. But before March 19th, 1985, I can't tell you where the fuck I was or if I even was. And that's got to be death before life, right? Out of the darkness comes the light. Out of the universe, out of chaos, out of energy, out of consciousness, out of awareness births life. So at one point I've come to the understanding that physical death, actual death, if I'm being real, it must be exactly how it was before you were born. It's like you don't know. But then you have people of faith, people who believe, and we have these different spiritual systems and different religions and different cultures that we've developed over the years as society. And a lot of it, as most of it is structured to control the culture or to control the people of the land. But a big part of it also is because people had to create a narrative to give themselves hope, because once you experience the taste of existence and life and awareness, you don't understand where it comes from. You don't know where the fuck you come from, but you know damn well you enjoy it. You like being alive. You like being aware. You like to exist. You like to have experiences, and I've chosen to take a more realistic approach. I can't prove life after death. I was brought up a Christian, and I believed in, accepting Jesus as my Lord and Savior, and that my sins would be forgiven and washed away, and that I now have a path to heaven because I believed that someone died on the cross for my sins, someone that I've never seen, someone that I've never met, but just someone that I've heard about. And, God bless the spiritual system. God bless Christianity and God bless whoever believes. I'm just saying, for me, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. I needed more. I had these thoughts, I had these questions, and I was scared to ask them because it almost felt like it was a sin to ask. It was a sin to question God. But then I was like, in my mind, even as a teenager, I'm like, well, if it was a sin to ask these questions, why are they even allowed to form in my mind, right? Anyway, back to death. Who you see on this camera has been, I was named Gary after my father. I'm what the world perceives as an African American male, right? But I'm going to teach you about another form of death. So who I used to be when I was a Christian, I'm no longer that person today. That was a paradigm shift. That's old programming being removed and being replaced with new programming. That's a death. That's an ego death. That's a part of your identity that's dying off or evolving or changing to something else, like a caterpillar to a butterfly. It's like we go through many deaths in our lifetimes. You know, a lot of us won't get it. Some of us will live and die thinking that we are who the world tells us that we are. But those in the know, which are so few, will come to the realization that everything that you think you are, your gender, your race, your religion, your lifestyle, your culture, your likes and dislikes, everything that you think you are, you come to the realization that these are all things that have been attached to you and taken on as your own identity through programming. And it's okay. But the beautiful thing about life and the beautiful thing about consciousness, the beautiful thing about awareness is if you challenge yourself to ask the questions that you're afraid to ask, to challenge the beliefs that you have and have been brought up to believe, if you ever find the courage to challenge yourself to ask these questions, you'll discover that you'll get an answer. And it may not be an answer that you're prepared for, that you're ready for, because it challenges everything that you thought that you knew and everything that you thought that everything that you think that you are. And but when you get to a point where you become mentally free from all of the chains of identity, everything that you were told that you were, everything that you think that you are, the love you think that you have for your kid. I mean, this shit is deep. I mean, ego death is deep because it's literally releasing your attachment to your very identity and everything that comes with it. You have a wife, kids, your mom, your dad, whoever. Like when you have ego death, it's like all of those attachments cease to exist. You have to understand this too. Everything that you're feeling, all of these emotions, the human emotions, you know, anger and love and hate and jealousy and this and that. These are all human emotions. This is a physical experience. This is not who you are. This is just how your experience of life is filtered through these emotions attached to the senses. You know, you're greater than what you think this is. All of this is contained within your awareness. You are literally everything and nothing simultaneously. You are duality and you are the singularity. But your job here is to remember who you are. How you remember who you are if you don't know what you were, where you come from before you came here. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. But I do know this. I know that I don't just pop up and exist one day just to return to nothingness, and then that's it. I mean, maybe we do return to nothingness, but maybe nothingness is our natural state. Pure awareness is not filtered through it's not filtered through a brain. It's not filtered through the senses. True awareness is existence. It's a beingness. It's a spark. It's out of the darkness comes the light. You know, out of nothingness comes your consciousness. And to nothingness, your consciousness return. But it doesn't mean that you're nothing. It just means that you're everything and nothing at the same time. You have no chains attached to you, and you're floating around with no identity. You just are. You just exist. And the way to experience that even in your living body is to become consciously aware and say, I was told that my name is this. This is my job. These are all the things that I do. My social security. This is everything that I am. My blood type, right? You say, this is everything that I've been brought up to this day, to this point in time in my life to believe that I am. And then what you do is you take a moment and you stop thinking and just become present in the moment. And you look around at anything around you, but don't give it meaning. Don't look at it with definition. Like, don't look at a door and say it's a door, or don't look at the TV and say. What you do is you look around and just observe. And then I want you to notice that you're observing with your eyes. And then I want you to close your eyes. And then I want you to observe from within without using your eyes. And then I want you to observe within without using your ears. And then I want you to observe within without using your mind. And I want you to just be the black space that you feel, with no attachments, no love or memory or thoughts of your children, no love or memory or thoughts of your mom and dad, your spouse, your friends, nothing. Because the harsh reality or harsh possibility is that when you physically die, this is exactly what it will be. You will return to the state of infinite nothingness. And in that state will not be pain or sadness or memories of loved ones that you experienced while being on the planet Earth, because all of these things were filtered through a human body to have that experience. But pure awareness, pure infinite awareness has no emotion. It has to manifest into a form in a certain dimension or reality to experience the emotions attached to the frequency of that reality, aka your life on planet Earth. That's as close as you can experience physical death without experiencing physical death, unless you've already experienced physical death and have been brought back, and then only you can tell people what you remember. But if I had to put my money on it, I'd probably think that death is probably like it was before your existence on this planet. Nothingness. Doesn't mean you don't exist. You just don't have no memory of it because you didn't have a brain to filter it. You just were pure existence. Don't let that scare you. You should rejoice in the gift of the present. Even what I'm saying doesn't mean it's true. It's just me sharing with you what I think. But don't be afraid of death. We die little by little every day. But the death that you should be focused on is the death of your ego. Stop thinking you're more than what you are, and be what you truly are, which is everything. So you don't have to pretend to be anything, because you're already everything and you're nothing at the same time. Life is just a stage, man. We're just acting. You're the director of your script. If you have a fucked up life, that means you're a shitty director. If you have a good life, that means you're a good director. But at the end of the day, you direct your script. Peace.